Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is July 13th, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Meta, formerly known as Facebook, rocks the market to new yearly highs once again. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So out of the United States, at 2:30 South African time, we have a PPI, Producers Price Index number coming out. That's an inflation report on the producer side. But first, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the dollar tank. The major pairs actually gain versus the US dollar. As looking at the indices, the Dow Jones pushes higher and rallies, and the NASDAQ makes new yearly highs once again. Now looking at commodities, both gold and oil continue to forge higher. And looking at the stocks, Meta leading the market higher, but the tech stocks not all going at one time. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin remaining unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're going to start with the Euro USD. We're first starting on a weekly chart. Number one, you see that breakout here at 111-ish, 44 right now. But what was our resistance? Our resistance was one here, 110.79-ish level, 110.80-ish level, whatever you'd like to call it. But right there, that was our resistance-ish level. That was also our previous support-ish level. And this has really have been a very important level that we're breaking above. Now, because this is happening, we're getting closer to our 200-day moving average. Now remember, between the euro and the GBP versus the USD respectively, the GBP is always stronger. So we're hugging, or we're getting close to that 200-day moving average, and I suspect it's going to be a resistance-ish level, at least for now. Not to say that's going to cross over, because the GBP did cross over. I'm going to take a look at that in just a second. But this was a layup. This was just screaming over the past couple of days, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. And sure enough, we're getting the follow through to the most essential time of the year, which is summertime, where you would expect it to be lighter than expected volume. Unfortunately, down in South Africa, I understand that it's very cold, bitterly cold, and even snowstorms. But with this relative market that we're in, anything is possible. Now, looking at the GBP, 130 versus the dollar. That means that is incredible. We've come back, okay, versus the USD from 1-to-1, from parity to 130 versus the dollar. Amazing retracement, amazing correction, excuse me. And you could see, this is the part that I'm really getting excited about, is that we crossed over with some gumph, with some volume, with some body, okay, above the 200-day moving average. That black line is that 200-day moving average. You can see it right there, okay? So this is really important. Now, where do we go from here? Well, right now, we're still on a tear and on the way upside. So until this is going to falter or correct itself, it's still on the upside. Now, this is working in tandem with the U.S. markets. But before we get to the U.S. markets, let's take a look at gold. Also pushing ahead to 1962. We haven't been in this area for quite some time. Now, there's a minor resistance area at this level as well, so keep that in mind. And we jump to oil. We crossed over that $75 point, and we're now trading at 75.90-ish level. We were at 76 this morning. So this is also coming very close to its 200-day moving average on a daily. On a weekly, you could see that we're still just breaking above the 30-day moving average here, which is really very important as well. So the markets are rotating. Things are getting more expensive. Things are moving on the upside. Now, let's jump to the U.S. markets first. Let's look at the NASDAQ, because this is really very important. NASDAQ hitting 15,500-ish level, pushing itself to new highs for the year, just mildly, okay? And it's not all going at the same time. Meta is pushing the markets higher, and you can see that a little bit clearer here when we look at a weekly chart, and you could see that pretty much we're only about 1,500 points, 1,000 points off of our all-time highs, which is within reach if you think about it. I mean, this is summer trading, okay? And we're supposedly in a recession. So some of these tech stocks are showing some signs of hope. And remember, because of AI and because of the development of all this new technology that's going to come out, This is what's happening. Now, jumping to the other tech stocks, or jumping to first, let's jump into the Dow Jones. Dow Jones did forge higher to 34,700, but did not sustain itself and corrected itself at this area. Now, there's a lot of resistance at this area. A lot of resistance. 34,700. It's got to be something significant that's going to push up higher. So keep that in mind as this still is unfolding. Now, jumping into the stocks. Okay, let's just jump into Meta first, because I think that that is the most essential one. Facebook is Meta 309. 309. Do you believe this? A year ago, we were trading at $98. 309. Do I need to say it again? Look at that. That's vertical. That's a spaceship, okay? I mean, so many opportunities along the way just to buy it. And this is why the trend is your friend. This is why we use all this jargon here in trading, because this is what we're talking about. When something moves higher, it moves, okay? And as this follows through, it'll continue going higher. Now, for right now, we're getting to spots or areas that, you know, might be some good idea to take some money off the table. But, you know, as this is happening, you know, it keeps on going higher. So until it proves to you that it's changing its character, it's pretty strong. Now, looking at Apple, we did bounce, okay, which was significant, because if we look at at a weekly, you see that 200-day moving average. This is very important. And I spoke about this at Target the Trade, was going to be your support. So this is really important as well. Now, looking at the other tech stocks, Microsoft also just a little bit higher. Okay, nothing really big. If we look at Amazon, also on its highs, but not breaking higher, still relatively strong. So these are all. Google also not doing much, but if Meta could continue this upwards momentum, it could show us some breakout as we continue going up higher. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, remaining unchanged. 30,300, between 30,600 and 30,300. It is what it is, okay? For right now, it's just consolidating. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.